Hi everyone, we're going to do the inverse of the rational or reciprocal parent function. We actually have two we're going to do. We're going to do the one that is f of x equals 1 over x, and we're also going to do the inverse of f of x equals 1 over x squared. So on this one, when you do the inverse is where you switch the x and the y. So you get x equals 1 over y. So y equals 1 over x. All right? And on this one, we do the inverse. We're going to do y equals 1 over x squared. We're going to switch the x and the y. So we get y squared equals 1 over x. And so y equals 1 over the square root of x. You square root both sides. Now in this one, we have to restrict the domain to x is greater than or equal to 0, and I'll show you on the graph, because this is not a one-to-one function. So let's look at the two graphs. We have the first graph is if you graph the parent function, okay, you go 1 to 1, and then it's something like this. What I'm going to do is go ahead and do a table of values on this. So for y equals 1, we know it's undefined at, I should do this one in purple. So this is y equals 1 over x. And I think I'm going to use negative 2, 1, negative 1/2. 0 is undefined. Then I'm going to do 1/2, 1, and 2. So negative 2 is going to go to negative 1/2. Negative 1 is going to be negative 1. Negative 1/2 is going to go to negative 4. 1/2 is going to go to 4, 1, and 2 is going to go to 1/2. Now when you switch this for the inverse, I'll do this one in red, negative 1/2 goes to negative 2. So negative 1/2 goes to negative 2. And what happens, negative 1 goes to negative 1. Negative 4 goes to negative 1/2. And what happens is you get the same equation, just like we did with the linear equation. You get the same graph. They're right on top of each other. They just get switched around. So that's basically all you can do with that one, because when you switch this around, you get x equals 1 over y. When you solve for y, you get y equals 1 over x. So basically, you're getting the same thing here. This one was xy here. Okay? Now, on the second one, we have y equals 1 over x squared. Now, what happens with this one, it looks just like the other one, except it's kind of like this. And I'm just sketching this. What happens here is this function is not 1-to-1 because it doesn't pass the horizontal line test. So what we're going to do is restrict the domain to x must be greater than or equal to 0. And what that does is it takes away this one so we can actually do the inverse. I'm going to erase this part. And now just kind of do a table of values for this. So I'm going to start with 0, 1, 2. You can do some fractions here as well. Let's put some fractions in. Let's put 1/2. So 1/2 is going to go to 4. 0 is going to be undefined. And then we'll do 1. 2 is going to go to 1/4. Okay, so when you switch this, so this is your first one. When you switch this, what you're going to get is x equals 1 over y squared. So y squared equals 1 over x. You square root both sides, and remember x has to be greater than or equal to 0. So x is going to, square root both sides, you get y equals 1 over square root of x. So you're just you're square rooting both sides. And I'm going to switch the x and the y, and you're going to get 4 goes to 1/2, 1 goes to 1, 1/4 goes to 2. So 1/4 here goes to 2 here. So this is probably a bad graph. 1 goes to 1, and 4 goes to 1/2. So basically it's the same as the other one. Okay? Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.